Few thieves on earth are there who haven't got a vault they can't open. His robbery plans were so flawless that no police force has ever been able to catch him. But once his own gang betrayed him and tried to shoot him dead. And to take revenge for that supposed death, he devised a plan that left all of America stunned. Friends, the movie story I'm going to tell you today is called Parker. It's a fantastic action movie starring Jason Statham. Without further ado, let's begin today's movie story. The movie starts by showing us the Ohio State Fair, a fair that was the largest in America. The main character of the film, Parker, wearing a fake wig and disguised as a priest, enters the fair carrying a bag. He was accompanied by 4 other men, Melander and Ross, who came dressed as jokers, Carlson, who came dressed as a security guard with a car, and Hardwick, who was told to distract the fairgoers. They were here to steal money from the fair's bank. There were many police and security guards at this fair, making a robbery almost impossible. That's why they brought Parker along for this theft. Then we are shown an old incident, and we learn that Parker is a professional thief. He is famous for his robbery skills. He can complete any theft instantly, so any gang of thieves would want to include him in their team. But not everyone could take Parker with them just by asking, because to take him along, they first had to contact his partner, Hurley. And Hurley decided where and with whom Parker would go. Hurley is the father of Parker's girlfriend, Claire. Parker had some rules for his robberies. He doesn't steal from the poor and doesn't harm any ordinary person. A few days before this fair robbery, Melander, who is the leader of this gang of thieves, meets Parker's partner Hurley and proposes to include Parker in their team. Melander and Hurley had worked together a long time ago, so Hurley sends Parker to work with them. Hurley tells Parker that they are going to steal money from the fair's bank, and if you agree, you will be in charge of this robbery. Parker agrees to Hurley's proposal. Now we are shown the scene inside the fair again. Melander and Ross, disguised as jokers, entered the fair with balloons. Now they release those balloons into the sky, and in the meantime, they enter the bank's basement. From there, they were trying to enter the room by breaking the floor. Releasing the balloons was a signal for Parker that they had entered the basement. And just then, Parker goes to the bank and tells the security guard, "Keep this bag for a while. I'm just going to walk around the fair." This was actually Parker's plan. The guard says, "We cannot keep this bag. You'll have to keep it somewhere else." And just then, Melandra and Ross break the floor and enter the room, attacking all the people. Then Parker also enters the room and takes everyone hostage there. There was a hostage inside the bank who was very panicked, but Parker calms him down and explains. This shows that Parker truly doesn't want any harm to come to people. Then they start stealing all the money from their telth, and then, outside, Hardwick sets fire inside the fair. But where he sets the fire, there were some oil tanks nearby, and they also catch fire. And as a result, a huge explosion occurs. Then Parker says, "What was that sound?" And they all quickly take all the money and come outside. Outside, Carlson was already standing with the car, dressed as a guard. They stuff all the money into the car. But as soon as Parker sees Hardwick, he starts hitting him and says, "Ordinary people could have died because of this fire. I told you to distract the fairgoers, but many ordinary people would have died because of you. And I absolutely don't like that. And if anyone dies here, the police will pursue us, and I don't want that." Then they all leave in the car. In the car, Melander tells Parker, "There are only $20,000 here." Then Parker says, "Give me my share of the money according to the deal we had. You don't hesitate even once to take the lives of innocent people. I will not work with you anymore." Then the others in the car try to convince him, "Next, we are going to steal jewelry worth $75 million, which is almost 7,000 crore rupees. After which, none of us will ever need to steal again." But Parker doesn't agree at all. Then Melander says, "I am not ready to give you any money." Saying this, he signals his men to shoot Parker. Then Ross goes to shoot him, and Parker kills him and shoots the front of the car with his gun. Carlson gets a bullet in his ear, and the car's glass breaks and the bullet goes out. Now Parker jumps out of the moving car. However, he is badly injured from jumping out of the car. Then Melander stops the car and tells Hardwick, "Go and shoot Parker dead." Hardwick refuses to do so, but under pressure, he goes, shoots Parker, and kicks him to the side of the road and leaves. Then they all leave from there, and it is seen that Parker was badly injured and slowly loses consciousness, and his eyes gradually close. However, a little later, a farmer and his family were passing by in a car on that road. Suddenly, his eyes fall on Parker, and they all quickly pick Parker up in their car and take him to the hospital. Now, when Parker regains consciousness in the hospital, he sees a news report on TV. The news shows that some thieves stole about $20,000 from the fair's bank. And they were the ones who started the fire at the fair. And many ordinary people died in that fire, and many people were injured. Parker feels very bad seeing that. But now he quickly gets out of bed and sees police cars standing outside. Parker absolutely does not want the police to come and question him. And just then, a hospital worker comes into the room to take the patient next to him out. Parker then knocks that patient unconscious and wears his clothes. Now, carrying that patient, he comes out in front of the police and steals an ambulance from there. Parker drives the ambulance and parks it in a field far away. And for 3 days, he stays inside that ambulance and treats himself. After recovering after 3 days, he takes the ambulance and goes to a house. From there, he takes all his belongings and a gun and escapes from there in another car. After that, he comes to the tax office from there. And showing a gun to an officer, he tells him, "Do what I say, quietly, and nothing will happen to you." But the officer says, "Are you showing a gun to me? I also have a gun." Saying this, he goes to take out his own gun. And at that very moment, Parker shoots that man in the leg with his gun and says, "It's not enough to just have a gun. You must also know how to use it. Now if you don't listen to me, I will kill you right here. And now you will help me enter the office. Look, I have no intention of killing you. I just want money." This man's name was Jack. Now Jack takes Parker inside the office. Then another officer aims his gun at him. Then Jack tells him he knows we are wearing bulletproof jackets, so he will not shoot your body, he will shoot your face. So give him what he wants. Now this officer also gives his gun to Parker. Now Parker ties both of them up, takes money from there, and escapes from there in another car. Parker escapes from here and meets a man named Norrit. Norrit used to illegally create documents. Parker tells him, "I need a new identity. You have to create a new identity for me, including my birth certificate, driving license, passport, all these documents." Norrit agrees to do the work within 5 days. After that, Parker comes out from there and calls Hurley and tells him the whole story and says, "You do 2 things for me. 1, you will tell Claire that I am going somewhere far away. And 2nd, you tell me where I can find Melander now." Then Hurley says Melander is working with a huge mafia named Danziger. Danziger is the biggest mafia in Chicago, and Hardwick is Danziger's nephew. Hurley says, "If you do anything to them, you will be in big trouble." But Parker doesn't pay any attention to his words and says, "Just tell me Melander's address, then I'll see what to do." Then Hurley says, "I don't know where Melander is, but Hardwick's brother, Bobby, has a nightclub in this city, and you can get their address from there. But they are very dangerous people. You have to be very careful." Now he enters Bobby's nightclub, and he tells one of his guards there, "I want to meet Bobby." Hearing this, the guard says, "It's impossible." Then Parker hits him and enters Bobby's room and asks Bobby, "Where is your brother Hardwick now?" Bobby says, "I don't know anything." And Parker starts beating Bobby with a chair and says, "Tell me your brother's address right now, or I will finish you right here." Then Bobby tells him his brother's address. He says that his brother is now in West Palm Beach, Florida. Now Parker understands that the gang of thieves is currently in West Palm Beach, and they are going to steal jewelry worth $75 million, which is almost 7,000 crore rupees, there. After this, Parker leaves from there. Coming outside, he calls his girlfriend, Claire, but Claire doesn't answer the phone. Then Parker sends her a voice message telling her everything and tells her, "I'm going to West Palm Beach in Florida now. You talk to a travel agency and you come there." Then he calls Hurley and tells him, "I am going to Florida now." And Melanda and his crew are there. Now we see that Melander's team has reached Florida and they were planning their robbery there. And just then, Bobby, that is, Hardwick's brother, calls Hardwick and tells him, "Parker came to hit me, and he wanted to know about you guys," after knowing that Parker is still alive. Hardwick is completely terrified because he shot him with his own hands. And as soon as he tells this to everyone in his team, Melandra gets very angry with Hardwick and says, "Didn't you shoot Parker with your own hands? Then how is Parker still alive?" Now he comes to hit Hardwick with a gun, but Ross stops him and says, "We need 5 people for the robbery, but we are 4. And if one more person is reduced from this, then we will be 3 people. And it is impossible to commit this theft with 3 people." Hearing Ross's words, Melandra stops and tells Hardwick, "You talk to your Uncle Danziger right now and arrange to have Parker killed." Now we are shown Hurley. He is telling his daughter Claire, "Mafias never lay hands on the families of their enemies. But I don't know what Danziger will do now, so I don't want to take any risks. I will bring your mother within 15 minutes, and then the 3 of us will leave from here. You lock the door and sit in the room for those 15 minutes. He goes to bring his wife. But as soon as Hurley leaves, a man enters the house. And this man was a hitman, whom Danziger had sent to kill Parker at the behest of his nephew Hardwick. He enters Claire's room and attacks her, trying to kill her. Claire realizes it and secretly comes out of her room with a knife. And immediately she punctures the tires of that man's car, and at the same time she leaves from there in her own car. Now, in this state, Claire calls Parker while sitting in the car and says, "A man just entered my room and wanted to kill me. I somehow managed to get out in the car." Then Parker gives her an address and asks her to go there, and says, "You will be the safest, only here." Now Parker goes to NORAD to get the illegal documents he had asked him to make. But going there, he sees that 3 of Danziger's men are in NORAD's room, who had come here looking for Parker. But NORAD was holding them at gunpoint. Seeing this, Parker becomes cautious, and he already takes out a small gun from his leg and tucks it into his waist belt. And he opens the door and enters inside. As soon as he enters, NORAD's assistant asks him for the gun. And then Parker gives him his other gun. After that, he asks NORAD for his documents. Then NORAD says, "What documents?" "Look, I don't want any trouble." Then Parker says, "You have to complete the deal you made." Hearing this, Parker gets very angry. And he immediately shoots NORAD's assistant in the leg with the small gun in his waist and holds NORAD at gunpoint. Using his body as a shield, NORAD was also aiming his gun at Parker, but because his assistant's body was in front, he puts down the gun. And now he gives Parker his documents. In the documents, Parker sees his fake name is given as Daniel Parmit. Now Parker aims the gun at NORAD. NORAD says, "Look, no one else can do the work I do. And if I die, all the mafias will not be able to get illegal documents from anywhere else. And if you kill me, then all of them will come after you." Then Parker says, "Then you kill these 3 people." Then NORAD raises the gun and kills those 3 men of Danziger. And Parker then takes the gun from him, the gun he used to shoot the 3 of them, because NORAD's fingerprints are on this gun. Now he tells NORAD, "If you don't say anything about me to anyone, then I will also not say anything about you to anyone. Then Hurley says, "You don't understand. No one can commit a robbery in Palm Beach because there are police everywhere in Palm Beach. The police will catch them even if there is a small mistake." Then Parker says, "Then what is Melander doing there? Melander must have gone there to commit a robbery." Hurley then says, "What are you trying to say?" Then Parker tells him about his plan. He says, "When Melander brings all the jewelry after stealing it, then I will kill all of them and take those jewels from there." After that, Parker leaves from there and goes to Palm Beach. On the other hand, we are shown Leslie in Palm Beach. Leslie was suffering from severe financial problems after her divorce, and she had no money at all. Because of this, she worked as a property broker, meaning she used to show houses in Palm Beach to people. And if someone bought a house shown by her, she would get some commission. That's why when she finds out that someone has come to buy a house in Palm Beach, Leslie decides to make Parker her client. But Parker uses the name Daniel Parmet here instead of his real name, and he came here with all the fake documents made by Norrit. Leslie now takes Parker in the car and shows him several houses in different places, but after showing several houses, she asks Leslie to leave. And Parker leaves from there in a taxi. Leslie comes home. However, Leslie was a bit suspicious of Parker, so she checks on the internet and finds that there is actually no person named Daniel Parmet. That is, Leslie understands that the person she is showing the house to has actually come here with illegal documents, and his real name is not Daniel Parmet. Then Leslie says, "No one sent me. I only came to look for you. Course you have no bank account, driving license, tax. And you haven't bought any car yet. You also don't have any credit card in your name. And from this, I understood that you have come here with some other intention. All your documents are fake." Hearing this, Parker takes her into the house and checks if she has anything hidden with her. But Parker checks her and finds that she really has nothing. Then Parker asks her again, "Why were you following me here so late at night?" Then Leslie says, "Look, generally people come here to commit robbery by changing their names, so I can help you. I know everything about Palm Beach. I can help you with information. Look, I am suffering from severe financial problems, and I want some money in exchange for helping you." And after this conversation, Parker keeps her as his informer. On the other hand, it is shown that the hitman who went to kill Claire has reached Norrit while looking for Parker, and he asks Norrit about Parker. However, Norrit doesn't say anything about Parker, and then that hitman kills Norrit. On the other hand, Leslie was standing at a coffee shop and then a police officer comes and starts flirting with her. This police officer liked Leslie and used to come to talk to her every day, but Leslie didn't pay any attention to him. Then Parker calls her in front of that police officer, and Leslie leaves from there without talking properly to the police officer and goes out with Parker. But at this time, that police officer keeps an eye on her as to where she is going with Parker. Now Parker takes Leslie to his room again and tells her about all the plans. He tells Leslie Melinda and his crew will first steal this jewelry, and then he will kill them and take those jewels. However, Leslie wants to know where they will steal the jewelry from. Then Parker tells her, "I don't know that. You are supposed to know that. However, I only know that the value of that jewelry is about 7,000 crore rupees." Hearing this, Leslie says, "Jewelry worth 7,000 crore rupees is only with Mrs. Klinder. But are you kidding me? Because this theft is absolutely impossible." The place where the jewelry is kept has the highest security and the most police in the city. They will either be caught while committing the robbery or they will die. And if you are with them, you will also die. So forget about this theft. Saying this, Leslie starts to leave from there. But Parker stops her and tells her, "You promised me that you would give me information, and you cannot leave now." And after hearing this, Leslie agrees to work with him. Then she gives a lot of information to Parker and says Klinder was the First Lady of Palm Beach, and at the time of her death, she left all her jewelry as an asset of Palm Beach. People say its value will be around 7,000 crore rupees. And its auction will start from tomorrow. Now Parker comes to his room, and as soon as he arrives in the room, the hitman who killed Norette now attacks him. Now a fight starts between the two of them. Parker is badly injured. The hitman tries to kill Parker by suffocating him with a plastic bag, but Parker frees himself and hits him on the head, thinking he is dead. But that hitman suddenly takes the knife and comes towards him again. Now he was almost killing Parker with the knife, and then Parker stops that knife with his hand. But as a result, that knife gets stuck inside his hand. Now Parker grabs him and throws him down from his balcony. After that, he takes that knife out of his hand. Meanwhile, the police come to know about this incident because the hitman's body fell down from the building. And they also find out that this body fell from Daniel Parmet, meaning Parker's place. Now, since Leslie was taking Parker around to show houses for a few days, that police officer who liked Leslie comes to Leslie's room and asks her, "How do you know Daniel Parmet?" Leslie says, "Daniel Parmet is my company's client. I showed him some houses." And while talking, Leslie sees blood in her basin, and she understands that Parker has come here. And so she covers the police officer and quickly washes the blood away, and she keeps answering the police officer's questions. Now the police officer asks her, "Someone entered Daniel's room to kill him, and Daniel fought with him. And that man who came to kill him fell down and died. And Daniel Parmet is very badly injured. But he was not inside that room. He stole a car and escaped from there. And no one has seen him there since then." While talking, Leslie sees Parker sitting in the next room with her mother's dog in his lap, and his whole body is covered in blood. Then Leslie understands that if there is a slight mistake, the police officer will see Parker and she herself will be caught. And then she starts flirting with the police officer. And as a result, the police officer is happy and leaves from there. A little later, Leslie's mother comes there and she sees her dog sitting in Parker's lap, so she is happy with Parker. And Leslie's mother helps Parker. Now Parker tells Leslie, "You go to the office so that no one suspects anything." However, before Leslie leaves, Parker asks her to call a number and then go to the office. Now Leslie makes a call there and goes to the office. After Leslie goes to the office, Claire comes there and treats Parker. Meanwhile, Leslie leaves Parker in that condition, so she was very worried about Parker. And for this reason, she leaves the office after a while and comes back home. And coming home, she sees Claire. She is a little surprised to see Claire because she herself had fallen in love with Parker by now. And seeing another girl with him, she feels very bad. Then Parker tells her, "You go back to the office, or everyone will suspect something. And we have to finish this work tonight. I will leave from here before you come home." Then Leslie says, "Your condition is very bad. Your hand is cut, and some of your bones are also broken. You are not at all in a state to walk now. So do you still want to do this work?" Leslie's mother then tells her, "You quietly go to the office. I will take care of all this." After that, Leslie goes to the office again. Now we are shown that the jewelry auction will be held tonight, and Melendor and his companions had already placed bombs inside the speakers there to steal that jewelry. When the auction starts at night, a very expensive collection of jewelry is seen there. Now, as soon as the auction starts, those bombs in the speakers start exploding, and the bombs keep hitting everyone, and as a result, fire breaks out all around within moments. And just then, Melander's team, disguised as fire brigade officers, enters the room, and they tell the police officers, "There is a lot of expensive jewelry inside, so you stand guard outside. And do not let anyone enter inside at this moment." After that, they take everyone out from inside and steal all the jewelry, one by one. Now, carrying that jewelry, they reach their house by driving underwater with the help of oxygen cylinders. Now, a little later, the real fire brigade officers arrive there. And when they arrive, the police officers tell them, "The fire brigade officers of West Palm Beach have already entered inside." Then those real officers say, "We are the fire brigade officers of West Palm Beach." After that, they all go inside the room and see that all the jewelry has been stolen. Now a red alert is issued throughout the city. Now the police start searching for the thieves with helicopters everywhere. The police check all the cars on the road, but none of them find anyone. Now we also see Leslie there. She was also present there, and seeing all this with her own eyes, she could not believe that it really happened. Now Parker is shown. He could not walk properly. Several of his bones were broken. Despite this, he reaches Melander's room in that condition. Going into the room, he hides. Now, since Leslie knows which room Melandra and his crew are in, Leslie also secretly comes near Melander's room, and she secretly watches everything from there. A little later, Melander's crew are seen coming up with the jewelry from the water. Then they go inside the room. And just at that moment, Hardwick spots Leslie and enters the room with her at gunpoint. And he calls everyone and says, "This girl was secretly watching everything." Now Melander comes and asks the girl, "Who sent you here?" Then Leslie says, "No one sent me here. I am a real estate agent. I came here to see if the room is empty," but no one believes her words. And Melander says, "Parker must have sent her. Parker is here somewhere." Now, hearing Parker's name, everyone says, "How can Parker come here? Because we shot him only 2 days ago. And last night, the hitman broke many of his bones after hitting him. Also, the maximum amount of his blood was shed in that room. How will Parker come here in this condition? Is he a human or a ghost?" Then Hardwick slaps Leslie, and holding her at gunpoint, he says, "Tell me the truth. Where is Parker, or I will kill you right now." Then Melander stops him and says, "Do you want the police from the whole city to come here? So don't kill her. Look for Parker." Now Parker was secretly listening to all these conversations. Meanwhile, Melander and his crew all try to search for Parker around the room. And while searching, at one point, Ross becomes isolated and taking that opportunity. Parker silently kills him, and no one even realizes it. Now Hardwick and Carlson inform Melandra that no one is around. Then Melandra says, "Where is Ross?" Now none of them can find Ross, and at this, they are all sure that Parker has killed him. And they start shouting loudly, "Parker, come out, or this girl will die for you." By then, Leslie sees the guns under the table, and she understands that Parker has kept these guns here. Then she slowly tries to take those guns in her hand. And just at that moment, Melander sees Parker and goes to shoot him. But they did not know that Parker had already damaged all the guns, so bullets do not come out of their guns. And Melinda roars in anger, seeing that. After that, a fight starts between the two of them. And just then, Leslie takes that gun from under the table and shoots Carlson and kills him. Now only Hardwick and Melinda are left alive. The fight was going on between Parker and Melinda. Since Parker was injured, Melinda goes to snatch the gun from his hand. But Parker opens the gun shutter and shoves it into his neck and throws him down. Then Melinda goes to hit him again, and then he twists and breaks his hand and also shoots him dead. Now Hardwick comes inside from outside and holds Leslie at gunpoint. He says, "Parker, if you kill me, then Danziger will also kill you. He will only calm down after killing you. And because of this, I am giving you a good offer. Forget all this, and we will divide all that we have stolen between the two of us. That will be good for all of us." But Parker aims the gun at him. And in fear, Hardwick says, "I will kill this girl." Then Parker says, "Okay, kill her," because he already knew that these guns were faulty. So Parker was not afraid. And now he shoots Hardwick, and Hardwick dies right there. Parker now takes all the jewelry and leaves from there and tells Leslie, "You should not have come here." Then Leslie says, "I just wanted to take care of you." After that, Parker tells Leslie, "The night you were following me. That night, I damaged all their guns." Parker now gives all the jewelry to Leslie and tells her, "You will keep these inside the AC ventilator of your office, because no one will look for them there and no one will suspect anything. But once you keep them there, don't go back to check repeatedly. Also, don't tell your mother about this. I will take it from there within 3 months. It may even take more than 3 months. And I will give you all your share of the money through courier. But remember, you cannot keep this money in the bank. Otherwise, you will be caught." Saying this, Parker says his final goodbye to Leslie and leaves from there. After 6 months, it is seen that a courier has delivered something to Leslie's room. And opening the parcel, she sees many bundles of money inside it. And Leslie is very happy to get this. After that, we are shown the farmer who rescued Parker from the side of the road after he was shot. A bag of money also came to them, with which they bought a house for themselves. And even after this, they have a lot of money left, with which they will comfortably live their whole lives. And they knew in their hearts that this money was given by the man they had saved. And the movie ends right here. So friends, how did you like this action-packed robbery movie by Jason Statham? Do you want to watch more such movies? Please like and subscribe to stay tuned. Thank you.